Feel free to introduce yourselves in the chat as well, because we've got quite a few people here today, so we probably won't have time to go around and do introductions just in the interest of time and getting to hear from everybody about their plans. So feel free to use the chat box to introduce yourself or ask any questions or let us know if there's anything that you missed. And welcome everyone, thanks so much for joining. We're going to be talking about IDSC today and the theme for this year and the different ways to get involved. For anyone that missed it, just to let you know that we're recording this meeting so that we can share it with organisations who weren't able to join after the call. So if you're not happy with that, then feel free to leave and we'll send the recording out afterwards. So I'm going to do a brief introduction of the theme and the different ways that you can get involved this year. And then we've got three fantastic speakers who are going to share what they've got planned and what they've done in the past and what's worked well for them. And we're really hoping that this is going to kind of spark some ideas and get people excited about planning for this year, whether or not you've kind of already got a kind of full plan in place or you're thinking about what you want to do. Hopefully this will give you some things to think about. And then there'll be a chance to ask any questions, either to myself or to the three speakers about what their plans are. And then we'll send out as I said, the recording after and all of the materials that I'll be going through. So hopefully, I'm assuming as you're all here, you've all seen the email that we've sent out about IDSC this year. So you'll have seen that the theme is keeping street connected children safe. Obviously something that I'm sure all of you will have kind of touched on in your work, and the different kind of vulnerabilities and dangers that street connected children are exposed to on the streets. In terms of kind of abuse and exploitation, stigmatization, criminalization when in contact with the police, and then the kind of the restrictions on access to essential services and education that this kind of leads to. And the kind of really important part around children not having access to a trusted adult in their lives, which is something that we also looked at last year, but it's something that we kind of are revisiting as part of this campaign, which I think is particularly important to continue to look at. So I'll kind of just jump straight into the different ways that you can get involved. And then, as I say, all of these materials will get sent out to you afterwards. So I didn't want to share my screen and go through it all because they're quite long documents. But I just want to kind of give you an overview and then we can share it out afterwards. So we've created a workshop that organisations can run with children, something that we did last year as well, and this year the workshop is based on the theme of IDSC this year, so based on the theme of safety. There's a couple of different options. So you can either do a longer session with children and young people that would take 2 hours and 15 minutes with free activities, or if you've got a bit less time or you think it would be more appropriate for the group that you're working with, you can reduce that to 1 hour and 15 minutes, and you can kind of play around with the different activities that you have. I'm just being told that my internet connection is unstable, so just shout if I cut off or I'm unclear at any point. So the guidance that we'll send around has everything that you kind of need to consider, from thinking about setting up the workshop, who needs to be involved, different things to think about before starting, whether or not it's something that's right for your organisation to do, how you can choose facilitators, considerations around safeguarding, and then we've also included a consent form as part of the workshop guidance. So it's obviously entirely up to you and the children that you're working with, whether you want to share the outputs from the workshop with us. And that's a kind of a conversation that you can have with them when you start the session. Obviously, we would really love to see the outputs and any photos that you've taken, and hear how you found the workshop, but it's by no means mandatory. So something for you to consider when thinking about running the workshop, and a conversation to have with the children. But if you are happy to share the outputs, there's a consent form at the back, and there's instructions in the guidance around using that. We won't ask you to send all of the forms to us. I realise that would be quite a big workload for everyone to do, but you will need to kind of make sure that the children understand and have given informed consent for those outputs to be shared. So that's something that we've found has worked quite well in the past. Organizations have quite enjoyed running the workshops. It gives a kind of real tangible experience and something for children to be involved with. And a really important part of the workshop is kind of explaining the wider context, so explaining what the theme is, what International Day for Street Children is, letting children know that there'll be other children all around the world being supported to do the same workshop. So it's very much kind of part of something bigger, and explaining the kind of context and reasons for the workshop. So it's not a kind of standalone thing that has no kind of follow-up. And then hopefully being able to share with them, afterwards, images and things that have been shared by other children doing the workshop, if they've been happy to share those. So that's one of the ways that you can get involved. And obviously, as I say, you can take the materials and adapt them. You can make them shorter or longer, depending on what you've got planned. So that's something that we'll be sharing tomorrow with everybody. The other thing that we've created is an advocacy letter. So again, something that we do every year. It's a template letter that you can use to engage with local government or local decision makers. It may be that they're already people that you're engaging with, or people that you want to kind of establish a relationship with, and this would be a first step. So it sets out again that the theme, why you're writing to them, and then we've included kind of 4 key asks that are part of the campaign this year. And again, all of these things can be adapted if there's one that you think is particularly relevant or will get more traction within your context, then do feel free to change this. But the 4 kind of key areas that we've been looking at is providing child rights training to police forces. I know there are quite a few organisations on the call that have already done work around that, and it's been really successful. So working with the local police to raise awareness of the rights abuses that street connected children suffer, and ways in which they can work with them in a kind of safe and appropriate way, and also kind of in a respectful way when they want to report crimes that have taken place against them. So that's the first ask. The second one is the one I mentioned at the beginning of the call, around making sure children have access to a trusted adult. The third one is around recognising effective interventions to keeping street-connected children safe. And the fourth one looks very much at other adults that street-connected children will come into contact with, so teachers and healthcare workers, and making sure that they also have robust policies and practices in place. It may also be around training, so to make sure that all of the kind of adults that children come into contact with are aware of the issues that they face and the ways that they can support them. So that's the second document that we'll be sharing with everyone. And then we'll also, like we do every year, be producing materials that you can share on social media. So different kind of designs based on the kind of key themes and asks from the campaign this year. And if people would find it useful, we can also create poster templates. If you are planning a kind of in-person event and you want something that you can print out, that's something that we can provide. So again, just let us know and we can do that, and kind of add space at the bottom if you want to put your logo or want to put some different messaging around it. So do get in touch if that's something that you would like us to provide. And then lastly, if organisations are planning an event, I've already been in touch with quite a few people that are planning in-person events, either kind of on the day or in the build-up. So if you're planning an event and you want some support, please do just get in touch with us, and we can talk through the materials, or we can talk through what other organisations are doing. Again, this call will be an opportunity for you to hear from a few organisations about their plans. But if you want to get in touch and discuss anything, then please do. We're really keen to make sure that the materials that we're producing are useful for you and your campaigns, and that they're things that you can use with the planning. So do just ask us if you have any questions, either about what you want to plan, or the workshop, or the materials that we're sharing. And then the last thing to say is that we will be translating them into French and Spanish. So if there's anyone that kind of really wants them to be translated into a different language, again, do let us know, and we'll see if that's something that we can accommodate. But I think from previous years, we've done quite a few translations, and we're not sure that they've necessarily been used. So we, again, want to just make sure that we're kind of focusing on making sure that the materials are as effective as possible. So do get in touch if you need anything else. I am going to stop speaking now because the other speakers are far more interesting and they're actually going to talk about the campaigns that they're planning. So I think I've got quite a lot of people that join now, which is fantastic. So I'm going to hand over to Tijani, if you're okay to speak first, and talk about your plans, and then we'll also hear from Santigi and Babu. So Tijani is from an organization called MFCS in Ghana, and hopefully you'll be able to unmute yourself and turn your camera on if you want to, Tijani, and I'll hand over to you. And then we'll be taking questions after the three speakers. So if anyone, I can see there's already a hand up. So do hold on to your question, and we'll be coming to those after we've heard from the speakers. Tijani, over to you.
Thank you very much. Is it okay to can I show my screen?
Yeah, of course, please do.
All right. Okay, good. I don't know if it is morning, afternoon, evening, everywhere. My name is Tijani. I'm the program manager for Muslim Family Counseling Services in Kumasi, Ghana. This afternoon, I'm going to share activities. First of all, we're going to start on what we did in 2022, and what our plans are for 2023. And I've prepared some just 2-3 slides to just show to partners. So bear with me. I'm trying to set it up. Am I still online? Because network is not quite favorable.
Yeah, we can still hear you okay.
All right, good. Okay, this is my screen. Is it okay? Have you seen? Is everyone able to see my screen?
I can't, no. I can only see your camera. If you want to send your slides to me, Tijani, we could hear from Santigi first, and then I can share the slides and move on to you, if that's easier.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, I can send it to you.
Yeah, sure. Send them over to me by email. Santigi, are you okay to speak about your plans, and then we can move back on to Tijani?
Yes, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone.
Is it on?
It started working now. Sorry, Santigi.
Santigi, I'm sorry.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so finally, technology. So from Muslim Family, this is a presentation, just 1 or 2 slides to show you what and last year, these are the broad activities we organized as part of the International Day celebration. First of all, we did a placard campaign. I think this campaign we started in 2021, and it only involves both us and then street connected children. We have a workshop before that to design messages that we want to share with the general public. And so we go out on the day to various places on the streets, in the markets, wherever street connected children operate from, and wherever they have contact with people, day-to-day contact. And we have a group of children with part our staff with that message, the plaque. And it's as simple as showing the message to people. And we target very early in the morning during rush hour. And so most of the times we do it early morning, the rush hour, we target that time when people are coming to town. And then in the evening too, we also go around the rush hour, and it's just showing those messages to people. And if anybody engage with us, we explain to them what we are doing and then what the needs of street connected children. Last year, our team is around we were under the general team, but we also came with a sub team, which is talking about the role of individual Ghanaian in protecting the rights of street connected children. So since we are talking about the safety of street connected children, we were talking about what's everyday Ghanaian, each and every Ghanaian or each and every citizen can do to contribute to the safety of these children. And the second activity was launching of the headcount reports. Back then in 2021, in October, we had a city or central business district, a headcount of street connected children in the central business districts. And it was a joint program between among three organizations that are operating within the central business district of Kumasi. And so we also used the opportunity to launch the reports, and we invited all the government officials, and key among them are the Department of Social Welfare and then the Department of Children, those who are actually in charge of children's affairs within the city. We invited all the municipal heads around Kumasi where the study was held, and we launched the report together. We had a workshop. As part of launching, we took them through the findings in the reports for them to, and then after the launch, we also called for a greater collaboration, how together as government and then civil society, we can team up and then work to ensure that the rights of street connected children are protected. And then we also had a national consultative meeting with a bigger stakeholder group, including the Ministry of Gender. That's the umbrella ministry that is in charge of children in the country. The Department of Social Welfare also at the national level in Accra. And over there also the data from our head count was also mentioned prominently. And then the call was for the government to collaborate with us, civil society who are on the ground, to come out with a strategy to ensure that we address the challenges that street connected children are facing. And at the same time, we ensure that these strategies or these interventions are child rights sensitive, and to ensure that the rights of street connected children are not being violated in an attempt to sort or in an attempt to come out with interventions. And so next one, I'll show you a very wide variety of pictures from these activities that we had. So as part of the program, some street connected children were also called, and then they talked to the media. And at the National Consultative meeting, there was also a panel discussions made up of practitioners like myself and other members of the network to engage with the media and the general public on what the needs are and how we can all work together to protect the rights of these children. And so these are the placards campaigns, some of the workshop with the city authorities, and then at the national level. The next picture also depicts the workshop that we did with the children when we were talking about the issues that are bothering them and how we can communicate with the with city authority. And so these are pictures of the activities done with the street children and how they came out with what their needs are. The next, we 12 days of activism. And I remember last year we also tried that one. And 12 days of activism is an online campaign, online and social media campaign that we start from the 1st of April. And so each day we share messages on social media, on any other media from all our partners. Then we draft messages that we share on each day. And some of the messages are also messages that we carry from the CSC social media messaging. We share it every day with a message that we share to our online and social media handles, through our personal social media handles, through organizational social media handles. So by way of addressing or by way of drawing attention of the general public or the social media public to the issue. And this year we're talking about a media interaction. We have a street champion group, a group of street children that we hold. We have focus group discussions where we have been trained in order to also be part of the advocacy campaign. And so we want to have a media interaction with them so that they will be interacting with the media. But before that, we are also thinking about having workshop with them and trying to prep them up for the media campaign. And then another one that is being thought of around the bigger group of partners is a vigil, like a night vigil on a particular day. And then the proposal is around on the 6th of April. And so this will be part of the 12th day of activism. So each day from the 1st, we'll have an activity that we do. And so on the 6th, we are talking about a night vigil that we're going to hold within the Central Business District, and then with some media attention to try to raise the issues. And then a repeat of the placards campaign, because we saw that the placards campaign actually reach a lot of people. And so we're thinking about, and most of the time the placards are also readily available. The messages really don't change that much. And so it's hard to organize and have the placards campaign. And the last one is within our bigger network group, we are thinking about having some kind of a short video or a documentary. So a bigger group is talking about documentary, but we're talking about having shorter videos within the documentary so that it will be the total work of the we're looking at making it possible that each organization can get his own 3 minutes out of the bigger documentary so that you can show it on your channels, and you can also engage both traditional and social media, showing activities and then that organizations are doing, what street connected children are facing out there on the streets, and then how we can also call on the general public to also play a role. And the overriding focus of our campaign is calling on everyone, each and every individual, to also participate in, because since we are talking about safety for street connected children, we believe that we as civil society have a role to play. But if we carry the general public or the society members along, we can achieve much more. So we want to we want to push that in the mind of the general public, that each and every one of us also have a role to play in ensuring that children are safer on the streets. So these are the activities we are thinking about implementing this year. Thank you very much. If I don't know, do we take questions or we wait after the 3 presentations?
Thanks, Tijani. I think maybe we'll hear from the other 2 speakers, and then if it's okay with people to hold on to their questions, or feel free to put the questions in the chat, and then we can address everything at the end, because it might be that a question is relevant to a couple of different speakers, or it might be quite specific. So Santigi, if it's okay, we'll move on to you, and then we'll have Bobby lost. Great. Thank you so much, Tijani. It sounds really exciting. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that goes. Hi, Santigi.
Sure.
Hi, thank you very much. Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, everyone, depending where you are. My name is Santigi Bayodumbia. I'm the director and founder for We One Child Foundation, Consortium for Street Children. Thank you so much for the support of Consortium for Street Children over the years. We have really made some progress, and even with what we are talking about right now, with regards to that, which was connected also with the project funded by Street Connected Children Consortium. So part of it, we had workshop on the right and responsibility for children. Through that right and responsibility for children, especially street children, they were able to come up with a group work, where they, outline some of their responsibilities and also their rights, and they presented them, in order for us to understand, and also stakeholders were there, from government representative, especially the National Commission for Children, and also other stakeholders within the community, and people who are really doing well and connected in the streets where street children are living. Through that workshop, so children were able to voice out their messaging, how they feel their rights are, and what they think their responsibility are. They were able to mention some of the issues of how their families and also relatives, how they get to the street, and what will help them to move away. We had a lot of stories, and some even presented as a drama, to depict the issues of street children on the streets, which was really good. And also we had presentation on the challenges as well faced by those street connected children. And as I said, they were able to explain exactly how they feel based on their own knowledge, and which is really good. Looking at just after that, we had the support from street connected children on the online stuff that we did, the project we did, wherein we had a lot of a group work with other street children, and they were able to explain. And especially we held that project in Kube, and in Kube we had an issue with regards to a lot of street children, taking these alarming drugs in Sierra Leone quite recently, which is called the there's a new drug that came to Sierra Leone. It was really alarming, making street children, getting drugs, and also young people who are really, it was alarming. It was really difficult. And I think government had to come in, and then now it's slowed down. There was policies that we are taking, and that helps a lot to slow it down, because you see people on the streets, just going down, or even standing at the middle of the streets, moving nowhere, just because they are on drugs. So with the fast response from government by putting laws and then policies, and also tightening up the importing station, that's really helped us a lot to coil down the speed of that drug spreading around the country. And also we had a presentation of certificates to frontline workers, especially looking into the theme that was outlined by this street consortium called Putting Frontline Workers on Focus. So we are able to also give certificate to a lot of people within the communities where we work that we see are really connected with the street children and also helping to address street connected children problems within the community, because especially in meeting centers and also like the Duazan community field, the Kube community field, and other parts of the communities as well. We always go there and see, and we also receive calls, like my friend who also live within one of the community, who is also a staff of this organization called Amara, also receive police call, and then we go there, he goes there and try to address some of those issues, getting the people, get the authority know that yes, it's not their liking, and we have to understand, because there's no way for them to survive. They survive on the street, so they must have, they must commit so short of petty crimes for them to survive. So we need the government and also government authority or agencies to understand the situation of street children. And now that at the hardest time with the economic situation within the country and also around the world, it becomes so difficult for street children to survive. So everything is expensive, and then everyone is so much concerned about what to do. So we are able to satisfy those people who are really doing well within the community, and also stakeholders who are also doing well as well for street children. We are also able to share out some laws, like bylaws, or also some rights about street children to stakeholders within the community, so that they can continue to understand, even though part of our project was also involved in training them. So we did a year before last, and then last year, and so we try to, I can say, refresher, discussion program for them to understand, and also remind them back about their the rights of street children, and how they can also participate through their basic laws, community laws, to at least ease the laws that they have and ensure that they capture in street children's situation in their community laws or bylaws. So for our plan for this year, so based on the activities that we have seen and also the progress that we have made throughout the project, and also the International Street Children's Day, we also doing, just to go back, doing the Street Children's Day sensitization. We do not only just talk about the certification and other programs that we do, but we also engage the social media. We engage the social media, and also even try to encourage international donors by featuring them into our posting, for them to continue supporting street children. Like we capture two organizations, key organizations that we are also working with who one of it is the Paul Hughes Trust in the UK, and the other one is Wegdam Foundation in Holland. So the Paul Hughes Trust in the UK also supports girls, especially on scholarship programs, and also life skill training program with the theme Love, Learn and Play. And also they also provide scholarship, and then also family business grants, which is livelihood for families of those children who are finding it difficult to continue to go to school, or at risk of dropping out because of poverty, and also to avoid them going back to the streets. They provide this business grant for those families to be able to establish social enterprises that help them to take care of their children, and also continue their education, and provide other necessary needs that we as an organization will not be continue or able to continue providing if there is no funding. So that's also one aspect. And for Wegdam Foundation also is a strong partner that we have in Holland that are providing us with a lot of stuff, learning materials, a lot of other stuff like food items as well. And also now we also engage in the production of bakery to produce bread. So we are already trying to finish the construction. Last week, I took about up to 4 machines that will help to establish the factory where we will be able to provide food using sweet potato vine to produce bread, so that we can able to provide food for both school children and also sell those on the streets and able to maintain the program or the factory, and then continue to produce and provide more food for children as well. So for this year, our plan is to organize a one-day football competition and using the power of sports to engage street children while advocating for their rights, using role play, drama, and public speaking messages on the rights of street children. Because we realize that sport is a powerful platform, it's a powerful tool that can engage each and everyone, both the perpetrators, law enforcers, and as well as also the victims, and then also policymakers. So we want to use the sports, to engage everyone. And then through the time they are watching the football, we use the megaphone to talk about the rights of street children and talk about the need and responsibility also for parents, stakeholders, and then other leaders within the community, and see how they can also, get the message, educate them, and then also able to advocate for the rights of children, or even for children quota within government discussion in terms of national plan. Also, we also plan to use a public display of self-defense basic skills in martial arts by female children. So all of this, for the past 3 years now, we've been training girls on basic skills like defensive skills, especially in boxing and martial arts. So we want to, display publicly, for those children to also, display the skills they have learned, and also how can they motivate other children to also join our training programs so that we can continue to empower them. So in the case of sexual harassment or abuse, they can able to protect themselves with their basic skills and ensure that they are not be abused sexually or physically. Also, we plan to also use one-day session with street children to discuss about how they can participate in the upcoming national election in Sierra Leone, and how can we help them to get their voices heard by governments and political aspirants, and factor in issues of street children in their manifestos. Because now is the time that politicians really need us. They need everyone, and they need each and everyone's votes right now. So I think this is the right time. We thought it fit that this is the right time for us to engage our community stakeholders, aspirants, or government representatives, because they can listen up. Whosoever call them right now, they are ready to listen. No matter who you are, they are ready to listen. So we want to use this opportunity to, call them to attention about the issues affecting street children, and see how they can think about those issues into their manifestos, so that when they come to power, we can hold them accountable to be able to deliver for street children. Thank you very much.
Santigi, there's a lot in there. You've got a lot planned for this year. I'm really excited to hear about your plans to kind of get street connected children's voices heard when thinking about the upcoming elections. I think that's a really fantastic idea, and I guess that's also probably linked to work around making sure that young people that are of voting age are able to vote and have the right kind of documentation so that they can participate in that way, but also making sure that younger children have their voices heard and that politicians hear their messages. So I think that's a really nice idea. We've got one last speaker, and I'm aware that there might be lots of questions, but I'll hand over to Babu first so he can go through their plans, and then we can take questions. I hadn't set a kind of time for the webinar, as I wasn't sure how many people would come and how many people would want to participate and discuss. So obviously if you do need to drop off, then please do feel free to leave, but we'll have Babu, and then we'll have questions, and then I'm happy to stick around if anyone wants to speak about anything else. But Babu, I'll hand over to you, and let me just share my screen with your PowerPoints as well. Can everybody see the slides?
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
Babu, over to you, and just let me know when you want me to go to the next slide.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah, I don't know what time is everywhere. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Babu, and I'm from Child in Need Institute that is working in India from 1974, and it is working with street connected children since 1989. And I'm working with the same group of children for more than like 19 to 20 years now. So yeah, I'm here to talk about the IDSC plans and our past achievements. So before that, I would like to say that the International Day for Street Children is a day to amplify the voices of the most excluded children whom we are working with, and who are still invisible in the government policies, in the not only government, it's regional, national, and global policies. We have a great success when we got mentioned in the Nations General Comment number 21. So that's the milestone. But still, we need to do a lot of work to make them visible in the government programs and government policies, because they remain invisible. So what we do in the International Day for Street Children Day. So that is the day we use to advocate the rights of street connected children. We advocate for the rights of street connected children because we believe that giving the voices to the street connected children is only the situation. I mean, to change the situation, we have to give them voices. Otherwise, the situation will not change. And we have a very strong group of young people, that those who are empowered and trained on different issues, and we call them street champion, and we put them in the center of the perception in the people, they perceive like this. So this year our plans are, Jessica, can you please change the slide? Yes. So what we have done in the past, that we have formed a city level network where more than 20 NGOs are uh, participating, and they are the one who are working with the street connected children. So we have networked with them, and they have highlighted the need of focused intervention among street connected children and women regarding their health, because whenever we talk about street children, we always talk care of the health issue of the street connected children. So last year we have partnered with the department of the health department, where we also worked with WHO, and then we focused on how to engage the street connected children in the routine immunization process. I mean, a routine immunization process is the immunization that after birth a child needs to take. So how can these services can be availed by the street connected children? So that we have done. And now I mean, last year we did this, and now we ensure more than 600 children whom we are working with, they're getting their vaccines. And those who do not have any identity proof, because in India, if you want to get the vaccines and the immunization, you need to have an identity card. But these young people and children, they don't have any identity card. But with this action, we could help more than 600 young people with the routine immunization process. Then also our street champion involved in the drafting process of the general comment of in the United Nations convention. So now our street champions are participating in the drafting process. So tomorrow we have another call where they will talk to our children, and our children will give their opinion about, what are the social inclusion protection they have, and what are the issues that needs to be covered by this general comment. Change the slide, Lucifer. And also, I have my colleague with me here, Devopriya. So Devopriya can also add. Devopriya, if you can add this slide.
Yes. Hello everyone. Great to see you all here. So about what Babuda just said, so the entire process that we did last year was very much focused on health intervention as well as social inclusion. Because when we see it practically, all the services that are designed to ensure rights to survival, development, and protection, safety, everything is related to availability of documents, legal documentation, birth certificates, and proof of address. So what we did is we kind of linked and collaborated with the state government and district government officials in order to ensure that specialized services or specialized campaigns or focused intervention programs can be arranged for street connected children. But this year, we are planning something more advanced, and we will come to that later. But I will share what we have learned last year that has contributed to the plan that we are devising right now. So we have learned that street connected children were not really visible in the policies and services previously, but now they are kind of gaining more visibility in the discussions of the parliaments and service providers, policymakers, because specifically in India, because there's a new SOP that is being launched, and the service providers are actually speaking about that. And we are kind of like utilizing that momentum in order to connect to various organizations, state governments and government officials, networks, in order to make use of that noise particularly. And this regular systematic communication with different levels of administrative authorities has kind of made Cine visible in the radar of those administrative personals, which is why when the state needs to report back to the UN or to the central government, we are the ones who these government officials turn to for technical support. So it has kind of played well for us in our, because for more than 30 years, 35 years, we have worked with street connected children. We have raised voices with them. We have amplified their voices. But now when street connected children are becoming visible, we are the ones who are contributing to those policies in terms of technicalities. And about the SOP, the standard operating procedure for street connected children that is being operationalized right now, we are acting as the technical support partner to the state, and we are kind of like trying to focus on non-institutionalization and specific programs and specific focus of intervention on family strengthening and referral systems for street connected children, rather than just institutionalization of the street connected children, which was the convenient way of addressing their issues. And along with like state and national level advocacies, we have also been searching for avenues for which CSC has been absolutely amazing for participating and facilitating the participation of street connected children, our street champions, in international advocacy platforms. And currently we are exploring different UN offices two of the offices that we are in regular communications with are the Human Rights Office and Office on VSC. So on climate change, on the impact of climate change among street connected children and violence against them, and about their social protection and the exclusion they face in terms of social protection because of their lack of documents, we are actually raising all those issues to the UN and drafting of the UN General Comments. So these have been our experiences in the past year specifically. Next slide, please. So what we've planned this year particularly is at the local level, we have already started devising local plan of action since the beginning of the year about specific like community-based actions that would address the local issues of the street connected children in local governance platforms that are child protection committees, which are very much like jurisdiction wise distributed across the city. So in these particular jurisdictions, what we have done is we are leading the duty bearers in devising local plans along with the street champions. And what we are encouraging them is planning for specific campaigns in those particular jurisdictions. So what they have done is the children made maps of the jurisdictions that they live in, and they pointed out the spaces where they feel unsafe. So basically it's a social resource map, if you call it. So in those red zones that they have recognized as unsafe zones, the duty bearers have agreed to participate in the campaigns through auto miking or through public announcements, street plays, and it is a collaborative approach. So the duty bearers, street champions, Cine, we are all, and our network partners as well, we are coming together in these community-based campaigns in order to not only make people aware about street connected children and their rights, but also engaging the duty bearers, making them more responsive and all that. And in this process, the police is also collaborating with us in order to make sure that they identify the spaces where street connected children do not feel safe, and bringing about more responses in order to make those spaces safe, and making the reporting and response processes more child friendly. So this is the community-based plan that we have, and we are in the process of operationalizing the plan. And at the system level, what we are doing is we are planning to, in the Children's Day, National Children's Day in the month of September, November, sorry. So we facilitated an interface of street champions with the mayor of the city, in which they raised issues and suggested solutions related to schools, the limited number of schools, and the like lack of access to schools due to the lack of legal documents, and lack of in the House of the People, that is the Lok Sabha in India. So the questions related to budgetary allocations and the governance, all of these questions are brought in the parliament. So we are trying to pull that string and make the street champions, street connected children, participate in the budgetary planning process, and basically bring along the people who build the budgets of the system actually. So we are in connection with the member of the parliament, and we are scheduling an interface between the street champions and the member of parliament in order to encourage discussions on specifically identity, legal identity documents, proof of residence, and the lack of accessibility due to the lack of proof of residence, so that it can be highlighted in the parliament. So that is our plan right now. Next slide, please. So, as I said, the aim for this is absolutely highlighting the challenge of street connected children in accessing social protection services due to the lack of fixed residential addresses. If we remember, one of our street champions actually raised this issue in the Human Rights Council as well in the year of 2022. So along with international advocacy in human rights platforms, we are also trying to bring this issue and highlight it and bring about specific responses in the parliament, that is in designing budgets and in designing services as well. So we are trying to address the issue that everything related to children's access to any entitlement, that is any healthcare, nutrition, education, shelter, everything has become related to the proof of residence and identity right now. And street connected children are the ones who are unreached due to this particular issue. So we are trying to make the parliament more responsive towards this issue in the month of IDSC. So I would request Babuda to add if he has anything to add.
Thank you, Devapriya. Everything is covered, but I just want to add that with this, we organize some fun activities for children as well, because it's their day. So children, enjoy their day. So some fun activities, some magic show, some, play, sports, everything is there for the children on the day. So that's all. If you have a question, then you can ask.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Babu, and thank you, Devapriya. It's really nice to hear about your plans. And one of the activities that you mentioned is something that's included in the workshop, something really similar. So one of the activities is around getting groups of children to identify places where they feel safe and where they feel unsafe, and drawing a kind of map of where they are. So for other people on the call who are interested in doing the workshop, that's one of the activities, and it creates a really nice visual output that you can kind of share as part of your advocacy work, and really kind of identifying where it is that children feel unsafe and what makes them feel unsafe. So that's something that's in the workshop that we'll be sharing with everyone tomorrow. Thank you so much, everyone. So I'm aware that we've had an hour. I'm happy to stay on if anyone has any questions for me and for our speakers. If you're okay to stay on for a few minutes, that would be fantastic. But I know that everybody's very busy and probably got lots of plans. So I'll open it up, and if anyone has any questions specifically maybe for the speakers, then ask those first, because any questions that you have for me, I can stay on, or I can pick up with you separately after the call. So maybe if anyone has a question for Babu and Devapriya, or Tijani or Santigi, then feel free to put your hand up and I can go around and we can ask those now. I can see there's just lots of thanks in the chat for the great presentations that we've had. I'm trying to just scan. There's so many people on the call. I'm trying to make sure I've not missed anyone with their hand up. There was someone before, but I think it's been put down. I think maybe it was just a comment in the chat. Alfred from South, do you want to feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question?
Yeah, I would like to thank Babu Tijani for presenting. And yeah, if you look at this year's celebration is to ensure that keeping the connected children safe. And I think much of their presentation has been more into what the theme of this year's celebration is talking about. I just want to thank them for their presentation.
Thanks, Alfred. I know that you've got lots of plans at South as well. So if no one has any questions, I don't know if you want to give a brief overview, but I'll give it a minute to see if anyone has any questions first before volunteering you. I can't see any hands up, but also feel free to just unmute yourself and ask a question if you want to. And thank you for all the comments in the chat as well, and for introducing your organisation, for both for organisations that have celebrated for a number of years, and also to a couple of new ones I can see as well. So it's really nice to see.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hi.
Good afternoon. My name is Comfort from Street Childcare and Welfare Initiative, Lagos, Nigeria. I just wanted to ask if, I mean, this is a network of most of us in the same field of operations. And so what we are planning a kind of like a workshop, but first, for one of the workshops we are planning is targeted at we, the caregivers and people of like minds that are into caring for street connected children. So I'd want to know if anyone would like to join us in making, like, we're going to be having a Zoom meeting, or rather a Zoom workshop, to discuss the plight of street children and the best way to protect them, as well as to advocate for their rights. So if anybody wants to join in that workshop, I would appreciate if they can reach out to us and then we can plan together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Comfort. Maybe I can check in with you afterwards, and then I can share something with everybody that's joined, and they can get in touch with you directly if they want to take part, or you can maybe just put your contact details in the chat box and people can get in touch with you directly, if that's okay. I've also seen that there's a question about the documents. Sorry. A question about the documents. So thank you, Ellie, for answering it. Yeah, we'll be sending out everything in the network bulletin tomorrow, and they'll also be available on our website. And you know, again, we really want to encourage you to just share what you're planning with us, whether you're planning on doing the workshop or have something else in mind. Do share it with us, and we can then publish that on our website on the page that we've created to share everybody's plans and kind of get some momentum behind the day, and to get other organizations excited about what they're taking part in. And Comfort, I don't know if you heard me, but if you either put something in the chat with your contact details, or we can check in separately after the call. Does anyone have anything final that they want to add, or share a question that they have for any of our speakers? So I'm sure we'll be happy to answer them. If not, we can end the call, and I can let you all go back to your day or evening, depending on where you are.
I think somebody in the chat, Jess, has asked if there'll be any future opportunities to share, for people to share what they're doing.
So if, sorry, I think my internet's quite bad. I can't hear you, Lauren.
It was a little, I think Maureen had asked if to share what organizations as we go forward.
Maybe just to say this was a very beautiful and enriching session, speaking from Kumasi, Ghana. And I'm in a car, so I don't want to destroy my video on, but I've been part of it all. And Tijani has done great justice to all of our activities planned, because we planned together as a network. So needless to talk about what we are doing and what we are going to do, or what we did last year. He has actually done all of that. But I just want to add my voice and to say thank you for this session.
you. It's nice to hear from you.
Hello.
And great to hear that organizations in different countries are kind of going to be working together as networks. Hi,
hello.
Sylvester. Hey.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. I raised my hand, but I could not see any response. Thank you very much. My question is going to my colleague, Santigi Dumbuya. I heard him actually narrating all of the good plans that they have in respect of the commemoration or celebration of the IDSC. Santigi, how are you going to engage the parliamentarians? Like you said, this is actually the time, you know, for them to listen to children in street situation or street connected children. So what methodology are you going to use? Because I want you to share that with us so that we can also make use of it in the eastern region of Sierra Leone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sylvester, for your comments. First of all, looking at the Sierra Leone situation with regards to parliamentarians these days has changed because the government have decided to use another method of appointing parliamentarians. As at now, right now, we can't able to even know who will be the member of parliament in the next coming after election. So unfortunately, I'm not going to target any parliamentarian. So what we are looking at is how we work with the local people whom we know within our communities that are aspiring for such kind of position, rather than thinking of those who we don't even know whether they will become member of parliament or not. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Because we also want to add that to our own campaign as well. We are doing a workshop with the children, and we'll do some media engagement around advocacy of their recognition and access to services. And then also we want to climax that with a football match, you know, where we would draw the attention of community stakeholders or people to come, and then we can give some talks. But I actually admired the idea of, you know, targeting the parliamentarians, because these are lawmakers. If they have it at the back of their mind, probably when it comes before them, they can also help to, you know, push it. I was really trying, I actually admire that, but I think we can use your methodology as well to look at those who are intending for positions. Thank you very much.
Yes, yes. Just to add into that, if you are using sports, and then also if you are using street children, I will want to donate to you a full set of football jersey, which I will keep for you in our office so that we can donate them to your organization to help you with your planning.
Oh, that will be great. I think we have to put this on the CSC network that a partner has already supported our activity for the IDSC. Thank you very much. I will get back to you on your private line to see how I will collect that from your office.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Santigi and Sylvester. Great that you've already made that connection and you'll be supporting each other with your campaigns. I know that there's been a couple of questions on the chat around sharing your plans for the days and how to share those with others. So we don't have any other specific calls like this planned. I'm more than happy to arrange something if there's enough interest or if people want to have a follow-up call. So I think maybe the best thing to do is if anyone that wants to share their plans with me, either after the call or in the build up to the day itself, just drop me an email and share what you're doing, and we can put that on our website, and then every other organization in the network can access that, and we'll share it out through our network update. And if there is, or if there are organizations that want to be put in touch with each other, I can help facilitate that. Or if you want to have another call to discuss your plans, then I'm also happy to look into planning something there. So I think I'll wrap up for now. There was so much rich discussion and so many ideas. I'm really pleased that so many people took the time to join, and I hope that you are excited and inspired for your IDSC campaign this year, and have got some ideas from others, or something that you think that you want to look into following the calls. So as I said, get in touch. Anything that you want to discuss, we're here to help. We'll send out all the documents tomorrow, and I really look forward to hearing what you've all got planned. Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you so much to you, Santigi, and Tijani, and Babu and Deborah Priya for speaking and sharing your plans. And I hope you'll have a lovely day, and see you all soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye.